hope someone's writing a new holy book for the broken, the brave, and the kind. If no one is, and you think you could, then now is the time. Friend of mine, I was reading the prophets, the old sacred lines, and a thunderbolt cracked through my head. The trouble's not us, though we carry the crime. It's the words that we follow instead. Throw out the books, let 'em.
Hello and welcome. Earlier this week in Davos, Switzerland, Somaliland President Abdulrahman Mohamed Abdullahi was spotted in a meeting with Eric Trump, the son of US President Donald Trump, in the presence of Israeli President Isaac Herzog on the sideline of the World Economic Forum. During that encounter, Abdullahi pitched business opportunities to the young Trump. Just weeks earlier, Israel became the first country in the world to formally recognize Somaliland as an independent nation, an announcement that has already begun to reorder diplomatic conversations far beyond the Horn of Africa. Meanwhile, back in Nigeria, a darker story continues to unfold. 1 week ago, armed bandits stormed 3 churches in Kaduna State, abducting more than 160 worshippers. Authorities initially denied that the attack even occurred, until the Christian Association of Nigeria in the northern region raised the alarm. The incident now further complicates the Nigerian government's attempt to counter growing narratives in the United States that Christians are being systematically targeted. 1 week on, not a single abducted church member has been rescued. It is 6:30 p.m. in Madagascar, 6:30 p.m. in Nigeria, 12:30 p.m. in New York City. Wherever in the world you are joining us, welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes Africa. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. My co-host Chido Onoma is on assignment. On our program today, we are joined by Mike Asukwo, editorial cartoonist with Business Day newspaper in Lagos, Nigeria, as we examine the power of satire in times of national emergency. Mike, welcome to the show. Welcome, Mike. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you very well. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to see you in real life. We read your cartoon. We read your cartoon. We look at how you do your work. I'm personally amazed. I told people who know me that when I die and come back, I will be a cartoonist. So we're going to talk about that, how you do the thing you do and the impact it's having. But first, I want to get your comments on some of the stories in the news. When you look at Africa today, let's start from what happened at the World Economic Forum. We had that Trump Jr., Eric, met with Somaliland's president, and they talked about business opportunities. One of the things that happened last year that people are not talking enough about in Africa is that Israel recognized Somaliland as an independent nation, which to some people is set an alarm that this might be the next direction of the external players in Africa if they start coming to recognize entities within the African countries as independent nations. Do you have any opinion on, or what do you think about what's going on?
Yeah, we did have we have a full plate here in Nigeria, and sometimes it's actually even hard to comment on what is happening outside Nigeria, because wherever you turn around, there is always something that is engaging here in Nigeria. But I think for Somaliland, I think it's going well for them so far. At least they have had some kind of recognition, even though it's called partial recognized states. But I think it's going well for them. As a Nigerian, what I would just ask is, hey, what is opportunity there for Nigerians coming to Somaliland? I should be asking about visa procedures. I should be asking about business opportunity in Somaliland, and of course. I will also be thinking about Nigeria too, because here in Nigeria, there are also some people who have been yearning for that kind of recognition, since like 1966. And I think that the story of Somaliland is also giving them some kind of hope, that maybe one day is going to be a turn to recognize. And so that is all I can say about Somaliland for now. But I just wish them well. It's it's just one thing to be recognized, but another thing to have a well-governed country.
Mm. Now, the person that represented us at the World Economic Forum was our Vice President, Shetima. Is there? Did he say anything there important? Did anything happen? Do you know?
Of course, it was good to see Shetima actually out there and speaking well for Nigeria. I was actually impressed by his presentation. Though it's always looking like whenever Nigeria is out there, we are out there to beg, and that is where I always get a bit uncomfortable, when we are on the world stage, because it's as if the only thing anytime we're out there, we are always asking for assistance, we're always asking for collaboration, speaking from the point of weakness, in a way, but I think he did well out there. He did actually very well, and I must commend him for that.
I saw one headline from his outing, and this is the headline. It's from People's Gazette. It says Shetima advocates homegrown solutions to Africa's economic challenges. Now, most Nigerians or Africans, they only read the headlines. And for me, when I read this, I was thinking, why did he go to Switzerland to go and advocate for homegrown African solutions? Why can't he stay at home and find the African homegrown solutions? Do you, when you do your job, do you go beyond the headline? Like, just seeing this, that's what crossed my mind. Shetima advocates homegrown solutions to Africa's economic challenges. He had to go all the way to Switzerland to go and advocate for homegrown solutions. How do you process something like this?
You see, most time when I see things like this, I go back to a bit back to the past, to ask myself, what did this person say, a couple of months ago or a year ago? What is his position on certain issues, especially um, uh, regarding, issues of this nature. And then I look at Shetima, for instance, and this is a guy that actually told us that he was going to be the one to handle um,
Security.
security. And so, is he asking for homegrown solution to security? The kind of homegrown solution we've had so far has been um, advocacy for negotiation with terrorists, and compensation for terrorists. We created what we called safe corridor for terrorists and bandits. So what kind of homegrown solution is he actually advocating? And he did not really say much about that. So that's what we're talking about. Always going out there to ask for help. To ask for assistance. It's always making me very, very feel very, very uncomfortable, because if how many years of independence, all of Africa, and then you always go out there to advocate for homegrown solution. Why are we asking foreigners, about homegrown solutions. So that is the irony of it all. And for me, that is always the basis for my work, because when I look at these inconsistencies, when I look at um, these rhetorics, and see how the conflict, um, I tell myself that is what cartoons are made up of, and I used to call them cartoonable offenses. So I think he committed a cartoonable offense there.
Cartoonable offenses. Yeah, we'll get to that because I really like that expression. And we'll get to that when we talk more about how you do your job. But let me take you to another story in the news out of Africa. In Uganda, Museveni won seventh time in office, I think. This will be his. He has been there for 40 years. So 40 years in power. They said that the average age of people in Uganda, I think it's about 16. So almost 70% of people in the country did not know any other president, leader, but Museveni, and he just won another 5-year term. How do you when you see people like that, and in Cameroon you have Paul Biya, the same kind of character? How do you, as a cartoonist, editorial cartoonist, how do you approach characters like that?
I see from Museveni, I keep thinking about that guy because I know that 2 years ago, um, I did a cartoon of Museveni. In fact, I think I shared that cartoon again today on my Facebook page. Where he's seated, a belt holding him to the seat of power, and then he's pouring away a glass of wine because he hates wine. So, 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 and I keep asking myself, we have people like this in power, and and we expect Africa to grow. You know, we have people like this who stick to power, and we expect development. All around development in Africa. It's not possible. It's not possible. So I'm more concerned about what is happening to this challenger right now. Because I think I read that the wife have been shouting at the top of her voice, about maltreatment, how security agent came to her house and harassed her, asking her for the whereabouts of her husband. So we should be tired of this kind of story in Africa, honestly. And as a cartoonist, there are many ways to approach this. There are many ways to represent this. As I'm talking to you now, there are so many imagery that is coming up in my head right now on how to really
All
study
right.
reading. Reading.
Okay, go ahead. We lost you for a moment there. Just last thing you said.
Okay, I said there are so many ways that this could be represented, in, in cartoon form. But the question is, who's actually reading? Do they just look at it and laugh at it, or do they feel that these are things that they should pick their conscience, should pick their mind, especially about the direction that Africa, should go.
Mm. So back to Nigeria, it's a political season, and a lot of things are going on. How do you, because you mentioned something that I also have that problem, how do you pick what to um, make fun of, what to illustrate, how do you decide what topic to choose? Because every week there are multiple things, headlines that are something you can basically make fun of. Mike, are you there?
Hello, yeah, I'm here. You were asking a question, right? I seem to have lost you.
I'm saying how, because a lot of things happen within the week. How do you choose what deserves that attention? How do they commit
Yeah.
actionable offense?
Sometimes I think I should say like some pastors normally say, you have to be led by the Spirit. Um,
What is the name of that spirit that leads a cartoonist? Are you there?
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Oh, we're having internet problems. I'm saying, what's the name of the spirit that leads you to pick a subject for
Yeah,
lampooning?
yeah, okay. Like, yes, so many things actually. One, I could be looking at uh, the politics itself. Um, I just maybe create a cartoon to gauge reactions. I might also be looking at, it's like you are watching maybe a circus, and then you are looking out for the funniest, of the characters, and then you focus on it. Because sometimes I look at the whole thing. I look at our political actors, and I see how they perform on the stage called Nigeria, and I just sit back and then just focus on the one I think okay, this guy should be the funniest this week, and then I focus on him because there is so much. In fact, one of the problems that we normally have as a editorial cartoonist is picking a subject for my cartoon every day. Not because of lack of it, but because you always have so much happening at once, and so that it becomes a bit problematic in choosing. And then when you choose, you also say, what about this? Why am I not looking at this one too? So sometimes you could have a way of combining so many things and putting all that in just one panel.
So, who is your favorite character that you go to if everything else fails?
You mean like among our political actors,
Our
right?
political, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think most of them make very good cartoon characters in a way. There are two ways about it. About what you do, and also physically. It's like somebody like Trump now in the U.S. is one of the most um, a lot of cartoonists in U.S. like drawing Trump because he lends himself, his character, the way he looks to a lot of graphical representation. So in Nigeria, for instance, our president himself, makes a very good cartoon subject. Apart from the things he says, the the his glasses, the way he looks, the way he walks, makes him very. He appeals to a lot of cartoonists. And then there is also someone like Wike. Yes, on Wike is always there. He's always there presenting a lot of things you have to need to cartoon about. One of the most cartoonable characters as you see right now, because anywhere he turns to, it makes the things he says. So most time when they are doing a cartoon of Wiki, you don't even have to think about the script. He provides the script himself. So that is another good guy. Then somebody like Atiku also is a very good cartoon character. The one that was very popular among cartoonists when he was in power was Obasanjo. Obasanjo was a very good cartoon character, both in terms of subject and in terms of um, the imagery.
So you've been doing this for more than 20 years. When did you start?
Yeah, I think I've always been prepared for this. I started with Business Day actually. I started cartoon with Business Day, um, and then I've been with them. Though I have contributed to so many other magazines, so many other blogs and websites. But I started with business. The business, they gave me the platform, to to discover that part of me. I did not expect to even stay long in business day. When I joined them, it was just like, oh, Asukwo, there's a space there. We need someone to come in and help. And then I went in there, not as a political cartoonist. I was just there as a cartoonist. But it was being in business, being in the newsroom, and then the kind of encouragement I had from my editor, my publisher, and that I became mega support. It just went like that. So it's been I joined them around 2002. I worked with them for like 2 years and then left for about 4 years. And I was um, I was involved in something else entirely. And but even then, while I was out, I was still contributing. And then I had to return to business the 4 years after.
Is there anybody that is untouchable in terms of as a cartoon subject?
Yeah, not really. It depends on the angle you want to look at it. Anybody can appear in a cartoon. Okay, let me just give you an experience. When I was in secondary school, I was a member of the press club, and so I used to cartoon students a lot. Students stealing food, students misbehaving, indiscipline, and all that. And then I now cartooned the principal. And I was expecting a lot
How
of
dare you?
uh, so the principal appeared in my cartoon, and then when the principal appeared in my cartoon, the school was expecting that, hey, this boy, you are going to be punished, you are going to be dealt with, but I did not get anything from the principal. In fact, principal did not even react the way we expected it. So one day I now cartoon another student. So the student came to the press board and tore the cartoon. And we were very shocked that the principal took it upon himself to punish the boy. The principal called me to the office, called the boy, called the editor of the school press club, and warned the boy, said, never you touch cartoon on that board. Said, if I could appear in a cartoon, who are you? so so that actually, from that point, I knew that no, I mean, you just have to, if you stick to the truth, and and pick an angle that it could ridicule, but not maliciously, that anyone could actually appear in a cartoon. So I don't see anybody as, oh, this is not touchable. Um, but there might be some subjects in Nigeria that you could stay away from, but not
Like
the
what?
actors.
Like what? What
No.
subject?
Yeah. No, for instance, there are certain issues, that depending on um, that where you have to be very careful about how you how you pass a message about it, or how you interpret the situation that is happening. So because, for instance, let's look at security. In most cases, we don't know what security agents are going through. I think that, when you do a cartoon about security, you know you have to be careful how you present it, in a way that it doesn't look as if you are on the side
The terrorist.
of the terrorists, or the side of the bad boys. So there are issues like that, also like religion too. One has to be, careful. So there's a kind of self-censorship that you need to adopt in order to be able to uh, do cartoons on such subjects, objectively. You know, but for characters, I don't really see, if the president of the country himself, could be cartoon. I mean, who else, among the political actors, that should be and that should be avoided. So I don't think, no, there is anyone that. But then, for depending on the platform that you are doing your cartoon, there are people, as stated, I know, by the editorial bent of that platform, the app media, that would be untouchable. So, okay, look, this one is in front of the house, so please don't go there. Yes, there are people like that.
So, has there been any pushback from the authorities or any of the characters you cartooned? Any pushback from them?
Yeah, initially, I think they must have given up by now when they discovered that no, this person cannot really be pushed back. No, but initially, I've had uh, aides to ministers, aides to governors, special advisors calling to tell me, hey, be careful, and all those things. That was before, uh, and then they discovered that I was consistent. The,
And you were equal
you could not see.
opportunity. Did they discover that you were equal opportunity offender? That is, you offend everybody. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Of course, most people, depending on when they discover me, so to speak, when the first time they come across my work, you might say, hey, this guy, because, for example, I have been called APC apologist. I've also been called PDP apologist. I've been called all sorts of names, depending on where the person is standing, depending on uh, where the commentator is talking from. You could feel that, hey, this guy is always on my principal or my party or my religion or my region and all that. But then when you look at the bulk of my work and you see the objectivity embedded in the way I spread my attention, and focus. You know that I don't have anything against you as a person. I don't have anything against this people but that you should know that once you become a government official, you know, you are automatically in my crosshairs, or should I say, cross pencils. So that there is no way you can't escape from it. I might not I might not catch you committing a questionable offense today, but once I catch you, you definitely be cartoon. I don't care which party you belong to. No, but of course, as a editorial cartoonist right now, people might think, oh, I seem to focus a lot on the ruling party. Yes, I focus on them because everything, all the actors right now, the ministers, the commissioners, everybody seems to be from the ruling party. So the ruling party will always, appear in my cartoon, because they own most of these guys, uh, most of these characters that we deal with. So it's not as if someone will say, maybe the opposition is using you. Of course, the cartoonist is in a way an opposition all on its own, because you're looking at things from different angles, and you just always be there on the side of the people. It's just always you against the government. So no matter the government in power, no matter the party in power, it's always like that. There were people where when a PDP was in power, there are a lot of people right now who are in power, who were then my great friends, who will come to my wall, my Facebook wall every time, and pick cartoons and share and be very happy about it. Some will go to event, use my cartoons to do presentation and all that. That was when it was convenient for them. But now the table has turned. Most of them will feel very uncomfortable with my cartoons. But that is the way it is. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. If you if you don't if you cannot stand the heat, then you just have to exit the kitchen.
Hmm. So, this was the cartoon I saw, and it was your cartoon, and I felt like there's something missing. So I thought, I wish I could draw. What I thought was missing was that I can understand what Wike was trying to do, navigate these two political parties, and they with a bottle of whiskey, 40-year-old whiskey in his pocket and stuff. I was thinking that something is missing. I would have loved to see something coming out from his from his behind that, because he's trying. So I said, this my cartoonist just missed the opportunity of a lifetime here. So so what I did was I went to one of the AIs. I showed them this cartoon. I said, can you add something for me? I want something to be coming out showing that he's sweating, that it's not that easy for him. So even AI was afraid of weak. AI said, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I was specific on what I wanted them to do for me to your cartoon, add it to the cartoon, but they said no, they can't do that. So, but if you meet someone like Wiki, what do you normally, have you met any of your subjects? What was their reaction?
Yeah, most time when I meet them, they pretend as if I don't exist.
Oh, is that?
Okay, so there was an exhibition recently. There was an event by Enough is Enough recently in Lagos here. I think it was on the 10th of December, and a lot of people attended that event, and I also exhibited at the event, and I spoke for a few minutes at that event. When I went on the stage, I saw a lot of my former cartoon characters, um, um, the fact the front row, and when I had to say what I had to say, and when I came down, I actually went around, and shook a few hands, and before I left the hall. But in most cases, people will just tell you, "Oh, I've been following your cartoons." Yes, must have seen themselves cartoons, and definitely they do not want to talk about it. But a couple of times, people have called to say, "Oh, I like your cartoon." In fact, I know that some of them even have those cartoons framed and hanging on their walls. The person that really made uh, uh, surprised me recently was the the former INEC chairman. In fact, he's planning to do a compilation of all the cartoons that have been produced about him. You know, and
Does he have?
I think you're not the first person to start that. Someone that person tried, but it has not been published yet. I think he's serious about it, and I was really really impressed about that decision. And
Are you going to
I
give
say,
him the
wow,
right to do that?
because yeah, it's just not just me. In fact, all the cartoons, about INEC and INEC chairman and all that, and of course, how this kind of cartoons can be. But then I like the courage that, okay, look, I want to see how cartoonists saw my own tenure as the the INEC chairman. So I really like that a lot. So
Mm.
one is also putting together history, documented by cartoonists, and it's also something to encourage the cartoonists. It's not every time that you have to attack them. Every time you have to scare them and threaten them. At least by saying, okay, I like what the guy did. No matter how you look at me, no matter how comical you presented me, at least let me have your copies. So I like that. There was a minister also that tried to put that together, but the guy that was putting it together, by the time he collected some of those cartoons, he now reached out to me and say, "Minister, he doesn't like this one," and I definitely knew that the minister would not like it. So I think that too is a good thing, to show that, hey, we're just doing our job, and uh, there was nothing malicious about what they were doing.
Mm.
We're just trying to point out some certain things about what they were doing, and thinking that it could also help you in making formulating policies.
All right. So this is your cartoon that we're watching that is on the screen now. When you didn't do what I wanted to do, I went on AI. This is what AI did for me. Just kind of going from what you did. I wanted them to rip the pants and show something coming out as kind of punishment that he's feeling the heat. But are you worried about AI and what it would do to your career in terms of
Yeah, I'm not worried about AI. No, I'm not worried about AI. I think that AI is even like if you are smart, AI could be a plus for you. You could use AI to improve your work. And so I don't think AI is much of a challenge to a serious-minded artist. In general. There been that fear. There's simply something I think about AI. I think that at the point AI will be so um, we have so much of AI, that it's going to be hard getting originals. So automatically the value of originals, will go up.
mm,
I think that at the point the value of an original will go up, because when everybody is now using AI, and then you're now looking for originals. Then when you now produce work, manually, when you want whether digitally, but this is something that was put together by you. I feel that at that point, the value of an artist's work will shoot, you know, very high. And because I look at what people are doing. Of course, there are people who used to call me and say, "Oh, Asukwo, please do me an illustration. I want to write a story on this and that." But I discovered that most of these people are no longer coming to me. Some of them are just going to AI. At the point, the work that I was doing were original works. I mean, you can't copy them. But since all of us are going to AI now, you discover that everything will just be like something produced by one person. you know, like what you put there, anybody could see that is AI.
mm.
So there is something about it when it comes to an art piece itself. Originality is not there. Because that just send this prompt, uh, you type this prompt and then this is what you got. So it's going to now be how creative you are with your prompt and all that. But it will still boil down to the same thing. AI, taps from, if you could, you go to AI, you could even ask AI to use the style of a particular artist, and that's what some artists are worried about. But even then, no matter how close those the products are, it cannot replace the original, can't take the place of the original. So AI for me is actually there to push some artists to do better. AI is just there to tell you that, look, you have to do better than what you have been doing. AI is there to tell you that you have to be more creative. AI is there to tell you that, look, now you now have a competition, which you must beat. So if you stand too long on even the right track, it could be knocked down. No, so it is now left for artists, to look for ways, to improve on their work, to make sure that the originals will always stand as original, and it will be seen and valued, by the fact that they are originals.
So what about the people who consume your cartoon? Have they been? What is their reaction to it? Not the subjects now, but the people,
Okay,
the
yeah,
readers.
yeah. I've had very tremendous followership, since I started out, and in fact, the bulk of my friends, now come from people who met my cartoon first. So a lot of them, of course. you can't. There's some time when somebody will say, "Oh, I sport, but this one, I think you will not get it." In the sense that, uh, based on his own understanding of the subject, maybe I did not do justice to that matter. you know, but there is something they always agree on. Like, look, guy, you are creative. I think I heard that a lot. You are doing well. And so they have been a big source of inspiration for me. So, because sometimes when when I work, I also consider them. Sometimes when I don't feel like working, I say, hey, um, these guys who have been looking up to me, to tell this story in my own way, I can't keep them waiting. So when things happen in Nigeria, a lot of them will come in box and say, "Hey, what do you say about this?" And and I initially I used to wonder, I say, "Hey, what did they expect me to say something about this?" But I now discover that they want this very this peculiar unique approach to interpreting the news, especially that hint of humor, that is attached to it. So they just want to laugh about these very serious issues, and then I've been doing that over the years, and I say they have been very, very wonderful. I mean, they are my main source of inspiration, and I don't. There are many of them. It's like you go to places and you try to introduce yourself, and people already know who you are. They might not know your face, but just mention your name. So, oh, I've been following you these years, and all that. Young people coming up to me. There was a day I was making a presentation at Comic Con, the last Comic Con in Lagos here. A young boy came to me and and told me things I did not even know. So I was carried away. So I make people like this. Wherever I go, any part of Nigeria, I won't be fooled. I will come up to me and say, "I've been following you." So the social media have really done a lot in that direction, to push my work out there. Just beyond just the print media, beyond what Business Day that I work for is doing. And so I said that they have been the bulk of my inspiration.
So I would like to know, newspapers in Nigeria, are they still all publishing cartoons, or is it reduced the number of papers that are still carrying daily cartoons?
Yeah, they are. I think almost all the major newspapers right now have cartoon columns. They still have cartoon columns. They still have. It might not be as vibrant as it used to be before, because before some newspapers used to have more than two, three cartoons, in their stable. But right now we just have maybe one, two, but published cartoons, or I know that some of them publish like picture cartoon, maybe like thrice a week, but there are some that publish daily, just like Business Day. They have the column that they publish daily, both in print and online. So they are still doing that. They are still doing that.
So, like in these day, business days, sorry, do you have? Are you the only one, or do you have an assistant, or do you have a full house?
Yeah, yeah. Until last year, I was the only one on the desk. It's not because Business Day did not want an assistant, and they could not pay for another staff. It was just that we 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 had a rough time looking for someone to work with me on that desk, because there is a lot there, especially the kind of work I do, and so we needed someone who could at least try to fit into it. And so we tried. I actually sent out. We tried to hire. It was not easy. So, but finally, what we did was, I met a young man that was ready to come in, and so we had, like, I think the work we took for about 2 months, learning the ropes, and before he was not brought fully on board. So right now we are two on board. We have the other guy is Moses Okpara, and he's been doing well. Most of his cartoons have gone viral, and he's doing quite well.
Now, for people who are watching, they might be thinking, what did you study? How did you become a cartoonist? Did you study that in school? Do they actually teach it in Nigeria? Animation and cartoons, and what is available? How did you get in there?
Yeah, this is a subject that we have been talking a lot about at the Cartoonist Association of Nigeria, which I belong to. The, the fact that we don't have any school in Nigeria now that is offering cartooning as a course, as a subject. None. But of course, I studied fine art. I studied fine art at Yaba College of Technology, and I majored in sculpture. I think that is what confused a lot of people. I majored in sculpture, and I've been in sculpture. I actually major in monumental outdoor sculptures. I do that a lot. Most of the sculptures you find in Calabar, most of the outdoor sculptures you find in Calabar, especially under Donald Duke and Moke and even Ayade, was on with my brainchild. So I saw this sculpture. One thing that was very, very, very uh, significant about my work was that I tried to make sure my work uh, my work speaks for itself. I try to make sure that my work has a message, no matter the kind of work I'm doing. Even in the class, what kind of work I'm doing. Even I'm doing textile, outdoor painting, sculpture. Anything I'm doing, I try to make sure that there is a message attached to it. It's saying something, it's all about society, about the family. You also have to convey that message. So I was already someone who cares about the well-being of others. About how people are governed, about a lot of things. And so when I came across, I found myself, in a newsroom as a cartoonist. I now see where there is a point of where those things can actually converge. Where uh, my ability to draw, and my ability to interpret, and embed my drawing with messages, actually work. And that was in cartooning. With journalism and art, I was able to, make something out of it. So I was already prepared as an artist, being able to draw, which is actually a basic component of cartooning. And then I came into the newsroom and now see how I could now use that drawing to interpret, the headlines, or to analyze the headlines, or to even break news, with my cartoons. So that was how my training as an artist, helped me to do well as a cartoonist, in a newsroom. That
Did,
I
did
can
you
also
did you
say.
say break news with the cartoon?
Of course, yeah, yeah. Because I could bring the news from my cartoon. The problem is just the timing or the time we go to press. For instance, I'm a member of I'm in the editorial department. I attend the editorial meetings, and so when news also come, to us, I could use a cartoon to break it. The problem is that the cartoons, because of when the page that the cartoon belong to the cartoons are published, in the opinion page. An opinion page is not a news is not a news page. So the news will come before the cartoon. you know But of course, most people will see the cartoon also first. Most people follow me will say, "Oh, is this thing true? Is it, do you think this actually happened?" No. Some of them will be also reading about that news in the cartoon for the first time. So that
Hmm.
happens.
Okay. Let's we're going to take a break. We're also going to let people join us in this conversation. If you want to talk to our guest, who is one of the most important cartoonists in Nigeria, Mike Asukwo, please get ready to join us. I will share the link again. But let me ask you, the process, is it left to you to decide on what you draw? Or do you have situations where the editorial team or somebody will come to you and say, can you draw this cartoon of this? How is the process?
Sorry, I lost you briefly there.
Okay,
I
so I'm
think
saying the process. Do you have a situation where people can approach you, come to your desk, and say, "Look, I'm thinking of this cartoon. Can you draw this for the paper?" Or is it coming out from your own imagination?
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I welcome suggestions and ideas. I welcome because a lot of people can see things too from some angle that you do not even think of in school. And sometimes the editor can draw my attention to a certain event and say, "Oh, Asukwo, look at this," or you can say, "Asukwo, did you see this?" You're automatically asking me to consider that as a subject for a cartoon. You might not ask me, "You must do this," but by sending some links to me, it's already letting me know that look, this is somewhere somehow someone has committed a cartoonable offense. So Asukwo, deal with that. So that used to happen. What cannot happen is someone telling me exactly how to do it, or it's okay, draw this man here, this one standing here. No, that has never happened. They trust me to think to handle that part. So just support. Have you seen this news? No. So that will not be left for me to choose the imagery and also decide the angle to the perspective in which I would handle uh, the work itself.
So, who are your competitors in Nigeria? Can can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying, who are your
line is not stable.
competitors? Who are your competitors in Nigeria?
These two competitors,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually, as there's this, uh, uh, you what should I say? Should I call it? You know, it, attempts for a personal to start a personal identity on your work. Make the work unique, make the work uh, get to be related to you, to identify with you at any point in time. And so I don't see other cartoonists as competitors as such. I don't see them as I just see them as colleagues, in the business, because of course we could be 10 of us, working on the same thing, like the issue of the INEC cartoons. When we say, okay, I just call and say, guys, please let me see all the cartoons you have done on INEC and all that between this particular time. So the project cartoon, so you can see that everyone has a unique perspective, to the way they see things. Apart from the way they see things, they also have a unique way of drawing, you know. So there is no way you could say, oh, I want to draw like this particular guy, or so you want. There are people who would like your work for the way you do it, and the moment you try to do it like the other person, you are going to be in trouble. I remember an issue like that. Some guys approached me from all the way from Hollywood. They needed me to do a storyboard for a movie,
I hope so.
and so I asked them, okay, what style are you guys recommending? What style? So they now send me images and said, this is the style we want. And when I opened those files, I discovered that they were all my cartoons, you know. And so you could see that. So that's why I don't worry about what the other guy is doing. I look at my colleagues' work, and sometimes when I see their good works, I'll call them and say, "Oh, boy, you tried. I like that." I share some of those cartoons myself. So I don't think that I'm out to compete with anyone. Is a business that needs some unique traits, unique way of thinking, unique drawing style, and all that. And so I don't feel like at any point in time that someone it's going to maybe take my place. No, my place is my place. You could be one of the biggest artists out there, and then that is you. So I can't call them competitors. I have lots of friends who are cartoonists, and I also admire their works. I share their works too.
So, what other opportunities are there? Because I don't know if the papers are paying enough to survive in Lagos and Abuja as a cartoonist for the paper. What other opportunities are there that if someone, a young person now listening to us who may be interested in pursuing this career path, what other opportunities are there for them?
Yeah, they are I want to say that unfortunately there is it's not as wide as in some other profession, you know, but there is something about this field, and that is its uniqueness, and if you are creative, there are so many things you can do with the ability to draw. There is a lot you can do. Um, a lot of cartoonists are actually illustrators. They illustrate books, stories. Most of them too are animators. You know, and I personally do do cartoon books. I do entire books. Using illustrations and cartoons. So these are opportunities. There are people just like you call reporters to come and cover events, for you. I can come to an event and cover it also, and then I come back and I recreate the entire event, in cartoons. Um, that is project I've been doing for some for the past 3 or 4 years. In fact, I'm working on one at the moment. So I attend big events and then I come back and recreate that event in a cartoon. So it makes it easier. They can make a book out of it, and those books are actually unique copies. You can't find them everywhere. They are special. They are cherished, and so that is one. Another thing too is that um, there is a lot the cartoonist can do. The cartoonist himself, can also work in the movie industry, as an animator. You know, there is a lot. The cartoonist can also work with advertisers. There is a way you create your cartoons. You can use your cartoons to sell products. You know, so there is a whole lot that the cartoonist can do. Unfortunately, there is no school that is actually teaching cartooning right now in Nigeria. But it's something that the Cartoonist Association of Nigeria, Catan, have taken upon itself, to fix, because um, the ability to draw is a very special ability, and we don't want many people with that kind of talent, to just feel that it is a burden for them, and they feel that, oh, why did I have this talent, and there's not nothing to do about it. So that is what we are working on right now.
Mm. You talked about self censorship, which is when you on your own decide that you are going to avoid this. Um, when you read about reporters being arrested, people posting things on Facebook being arrested in Nigeria, does that add to the pressure on you to censor what you do? Or I wanted to know, even is there any cartoonists that have been picked up for whatever they drew at any point?
Yeah, yeah. It's surely. No, I don't. There is no. There is at least not of recent, but I know cartoons that who have been hiding in their homes for their lives, because of threat. So um, self-censorship is just for um, is for you to, as much as possible, remain objective. Um, because there are, of course, the cartoonists. There are a lot of things that cartoonists say. That becomes stronger, much more potent, than when a regular reporter is reporting it. And so for a cartoonist, is what he's doing is very visible. Is If you put the text and the picture, people will first of all look at the picture before they read the text. And so what he does is visible, and in most cases even stronger in terms of impact, and than does a regular page in the newspaper. I mean, text in the newspaper. And so for a lot of things you push there, it can also be misrepresented, misconstrued. So we should try to avoid ambiguity. You try some and adopt some kind of self-censorship, because recently I've had that situation recently where someone brought my old cartoon and then represented it, the meaning out of context, and then all of them were now on my head, calling for my arrest and all that. So those things happen, you know. So, but that also it has happened a couple of times. But of course, I look at it and I know that is a work of, some some very the we just call it data boys, now. I just look at them and I laugh, because most of the time these are cartoons that have already done their work. They have already spoken to the problem, they have spoken to the issue as at the time they were done, and they were accepted as the right thing at that moment. People saw them and knew that what they were talking about. And then after a year or two, you now pull them and then misrepresented them. And so this is what Asukwo said in his cartoon about this thing the other time. You know, so I know that those things, are works of some very mischievous people, and of course, as a cartoonist, too, I'm also mischievous, and I know how to approach it. But at the same time, to avoid, such situation, I try to look at what I do again and making sure that it is what I want to say, that my imagery or the text I use is saying. So if you bring any other meaning to that one, it is left for you. So I try to do that a lot. So that is why it's important that, I apply some kind of censorship when
Mm,
I'm at work.
mm. I assume that you have not drawn a picture of Mohammed in your cartoon.
Yeah, I never had a cause to. I never had a cause to. I don't really understand that religion that much, So I don't really understand them. I've never read the Quran. I've always seen snippets, and I know that I could be wrong. I've read the Bible, I've read the Bible. I've studied the Bible, and so I've never read the Quran. And I know that for something that I cannot defend any work I do about the Quran, and so I stay off that, because I don't understand it enough, to play safe. So I don't go. I don't go. But then there are certain subjects about Islam that I even done a cartoon about. For example, the stoning of the devil, and I don't think anybody would want to stand on the side of the devil. If I have to draw the devil being stoned, if you come to me, I will ask you, are you the devil? I know I've done a cartoon about that, and I challenge anyone to counter the cartoon, because I'll ask you if you are the devil that is being stoned. So that is because I read about it, and I was actually educated on it. So I was able to do a cartoon, you know, about that. So then I try to avoid other matters. Then matters like underage marriage and all that. I know that that is not not in Islam. So, but but I know that people who just because of the fact that they come from where uh, that religion is stronger, they feel that anything you do there is now seen from 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 that prism, of religion, which is not true. For example, if someone does a cartoon about the street beggars there, in the north, not because of the fact that because we have a lot of Muslim, doesn't mean that you're talking about Muslim or Islam as a religion. We're talking about the people in the north. So we have this confusion sometimes. People playing on that, making you feel guilty sometimes, or making you trying to scare you. So you're attacking us and all that. So they have been doing that, but we all know that we know what they're up to.
So when what happened in France when the magazine Charlie Hido published that cartoon of Mohammed, when it happened, what did you think? If you were approached to get your viewpoint as a cartoonist, what would you have thought? That did you think that
Yeah,
the cartoonists they went over?
yeah. I even have when I did first was when I heard about it. I had to look for the copy of the cartoon itself, and I saw the cartoon, and I in my mind I also thought that those guys should be very very brave to go ahead with that kind of cartoon and to approve that it is published, considering uh, the sensitivity around it. So but I saw the cartoon, and then if you follow the history of Charlie Hebdo and his gang, they have been like that. You should see the things they do about the Pope and other things, you know. So, but it's something they have signed up to. They have decided that this is how we do it. This is how we do. This is how we say the thing we want to say. And I'm sure also that they were actually prepared for whatever happens. So, um, but I asked I asked myself, I did not see the reaction as actually appropriate, because I mean, talking about a God, and when you talk about a God, God is something that should be omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. I mean, no power should be greater than that power. And so, if the God is not happy about what you have done, you have insulted the gods. You should not last more than 3 hours if the gods want to kill you. And so I find it funny that people are giving God the helping hand. I mean, God should be able to defend himself. In fact, we call on the God to defend us, and then you're going to kill him. So I find that a bit confusing. I find that I feel there could be a lot of other way that those guys could have been dealt with, taken to court or whatever. If it is whatever, there are a lot of things that could have been done to them. It's a business, that could also be. There are always challenge that kind of business, but going to kill, I do not find that as an appropriate reaction to what they did.
Will you draw Jesus in a cartoon? Mike, did you hear me?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, yeah. No, I. Sorry, please. I need to come again.
I said, will you draw Jesus in a cartoon?
Will I draw Jesus in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've I've done that. Um, I've done that actually, and I'm a Christian, and I never the cartoon will never to insult him. Um, there are a lot of cartoons I have done whose subject matter, I mean, the imagery were borrowed from the Bible. There are a lot of things we can learn from the Bible stories, and so I have had to borrow some of this subject from the Bible, and so in my cartoons, heaven have come into my cartoons, hell, angels, and yeah, I think there was a time I did a cartoon, and someone called me and said it was insulting the Christians, um, but it was not deliberate. There was no threat. It was just telling me to look at what I did again, and whether. But the problem, the way I used to have a problem with somebody saying, if it was the other religion, would you have done that? No, no, no. These are two religions, and so you can't just make that kind of comparison.
How do you respond to that?
We have the
Because
religion
I
that
have.
we can tolerate. You can't
Yeah.
say that one too is bad.
How do you respond to that? Because I've had that in several things I write. People will say, "Will you say this about Islam and Muhammad?" And what do you say to people who come to you and tell you that?
That's what I'm just telling you. I keep telling them, look, these are you cannot if because if you are saying that, that means that you would be happy to see uh, uh, Christians
Christianity.
also do what Christianity do just because I don't even so that if these people choose to be confrontational about issues, and it works for them, and these other people also choose to be understanding in a way, about it. I mean, you can't also say that that is wrong. You can have issues, you can have problems about what they have done, and you just but to say, oh, if it was Islam, would you do it? I think it's insulting both religion. You're automatically insulting.
All right. I think
Because once you say that, it means that if you had the opportunity, if you had your way, now you also react the way you were trying to condemn in the other religion. That's what it means. It means that you are ready to also do what you have condemned.
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we let people in. There are people who are waiting to talk to you. We let them in and we continue the conversation. We are talking to the main cartoonist for Business Day, Mike Asukwo. We'll be right back after the break. right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're having a conversation with Mike Asukwo, who is the editorial cartoonist for Business Day in Lagos, Nigeria. We were talking about his experience working for more than 20 years at Business Day. Before I bring in people who are waiting to talk to you, let me just find out what do you think about this? Is there any difference how you handle your work under Buhari and how you handle it now under Tinubu? We can
Um,
see you. I know the light went off.
yes. Language of here, of course, this is what we were talking about. I, will, I may need to go and change the source of power.
Okay.
Um,
All right. If you have to go, yeah, we can take a break. You can
okay,
take a break. You go and change the source of power, and then when you come back, we continue the conversation with the people who are here in the studio.
okay. All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank
Let me
you.
do that.
All right. We'll be back with our guest will join us again when he changes the power source. That's Nigeria. And well, in the meantime, let me introduce you guys to some of the people who are here. Uh, all right, Mr. James, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. The gentleman has spoken well. In fact, I never knew that cartoon is a versatile, I mean, it's a field of, how do I put it? It's a means of anyone's livelihood. I never knew. Because whenever, in those days when I was in Nigeria, there was a man they called Mr. and Mrs.
Oh yeah, it's still going on in the Vanguard.
Okay,
They still
I
publish
used
Mr.
to
and Mrs.
enjoy it as a high school student those days. And anyway, um, it's a pity that they are not taking the profession seriously in Nigeria because they're supposed to mount courses on cartooning in journalism, literary studies, languages, and things like that. But I don't know why. When he comes, I will ask him very brief questions, very very brief. Is it possible to compose a book like Things Fall Apart, No Longer At Ease, The Concubine by Lechi Amadi in cartoons? Because now we are dealing with electronic version of books. So no matter how voluminous it is, if it's in an electronic version, it will be readable. I think I will ask him a question like that. Then secondly, is he a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists? Because he is working with journalists, so he should belong to their association. These are the kind of things I would like to find out from him.
All
He's
right.
a very courageous gentleman, frankly
Mm,
speaking. It's
yep.
courageous to squeeze water out of stone in a country like Nigeria. It's not an easy task.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll ask him when he comes back. But let me say that in America here, there are schools. Like I teach at the School of Visual Arts. So they have who specialize in cartoons and they can do graphic books, like what you are saying now. You can turn Things All Apart into a graphic novel where people can read it in that form, in that format. So it's something that is done all over the world. I'm surprised that they don't even have in colleges or universities in Nigeria. They don't have places where they specialize in.
In Nigeria, we need to be innovative. We don't need to be copying because it has succeeded in Germany or America, so let us do it here. We need to be innovative. What is good for our society? We should do things that other people should copy,
Mm,
not the
Yep.
other way around all the time.
mm,
Because that's something I noticed, because we are copycats.
yeah.
Nothing original is coming out of Nigeria.
All right. Our guest is here, so let's go straight to that so that we can get you guys to interact with him. So, Mr. James, you start. You are Mr. James. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. I was just discussing with Mr. Rudolph. First of all, are you a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists? Just yes or no?
Mike,
Can you hear me?
Sorry, I did not hear. I lost him there briefly.
Okay,
Okay.
I said, are you a member of the Nigerian Union of Journalists? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Secondly, and the last question, is it possible for you to write a book like Things Fall Apart, No Longer It Is, Concubine by Lechi Amadi in cartoon forms? Because these days we have electronic version of books. So no matter how voluminous the book will be, it will be something very interesting. And also, I mean, it will be interesting and less rigorous than reading, the actual novels. I don't know if such things are possible.
So
Yes, it's very possible to do that. It might be take time, but then it's very possible to do things fall apart in an illustrated form.
all right, Mr. James, thank you so much. Let's go to, I can see Igbo Basics. So let's go to KJ. After that, we can go to Igbo Basics. KJ, go ahead. KJ, you're muted.
Look, KJ,
We can't hear you,
think
KJ. We can't hear you. All right, KJ is having problems today. So KJ, you may have to join again. Let's hear.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Rudolph, thank you so much for bringing this wonderful Nigerian. I've always been mesmerized by cartoons. I used to have a cartoon collection album when I was still younger. I cut off all the newspaper cartoons from Standard, New Nigeria, and all that, Daily Times, and I stored in a big album. I just had those collections. So looking at your cartoons, I mean, I'm always amazed. Honestly, I must say, your concept and the way you drive it home. It tells better stories than some of the writers that we have in the Nigerian. Some of our colleagues, journalist colleagues, who write. Sometimes they want to pander to one way or the other. I find that your cartoons are well balanced, especially the one that made me, the Aquabio on is just is something else. You are very good. And two questions for you.
Thank
Are
you.
you thinking of having a cartoon production that you have your own, like what you call it? You just do a program, have it totally cartoon, just cartoon film or a short story. That's one. Two. Is there anybody you are training just in case tomorrow you decide to retire, or like us go leave journalism and go into doing something else? Will you have somebody who can replace you? Three, is any of your children inheriting this very wonderful talent that you have? And if not, are you planning like what's his name? The guy who's always making the proverb, we are all a pencil in the hand of a writer. One of those Yoruba, he's Yoruba. He lives in Lagos. I know him. He does children's. What's that program called? Super Story. The Super Story guy. Eventually had a story. I mean, a school where people go to learn. Are you going to think of something like that in the near future? Thank you so much, sir.
All right. So Mike, can you hear him? Did you hear what his question? I think he's frozen. Mike, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, his internet is frozen.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I lost KJ briefly there. I know that was asking me about first part was was it like a kind of exhibition of my works or something, or collection of my works? And then I now asked me about.
I can repeat for you to hear if you didn't hear.
Okay.
I said once. Are you planning? Do you have any plan to make a story, like a cartoon story? Those 15 minutes or 30 minutes cartoons. that just you're telling your Nigerian story the way you tell it, because it's much or more honest and more straight to the point, much more than some of us our journalists write these days. And then I said, do you also have any plan? Is any of your child taken after you, or do you also have any plan to start something like,
Yeah.
a
Okay. Yeah.
cartoon?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, KJ. Yes, I'm not actually making plans. Not that did not occur to me actually, because I'm always involved in one project or the other. But I've been trying to put my work together. I have two physical compilation now. There are two compilations of my work. The first one is titled "Laughter in the Mirror." Is about 250 pages of cartoons spanning the Lord Jonathan and part of Buhari's era. And then I have another one titled The General Kidnapping. That one is basically on Buhari's tenure. So I have those two books right now. Um, and But before then, I had that one was basically uh, a digital book, and that was uh, Nigeria, the Wasted Years. That was basically on the reign of Basanjo. So I tried to put these things together, and then there was also an exhibition I had about some years ago, and I'm planning another one this year. Of course, I have to find a more formal way to announce this, but I have an exhibition coming up, showing my work, because a lot of people don't really understand. And in fact, before I had that first exhibition, people were wondering, can you actually exhibit artwork? Can people come and buy cartoons the way they buy regular paintings, and other kind of art forms? So, but that exhibition showed that yes, it's possible to actually go to an exhibition and buy cartoons. And after that, some other of my colleagues also exhibited, and they also had people coming in to buy cartoons. Cartoon is that important right now in Nigeria, where people can actually come in and buy them, not just as a piece of a journalistic element, but as an art form on its own, a proper art form on its own. So that is actually happening. And so but as for bringing up others, fortunately, my children are going science, and none of them is really taking even art itself as. Then we can't really push them. They see me do every time, and maybe they just think we have one artist in the house. Why should we? Why should we have another? So, but I do a lot of trainings for young people. I hold online training annually for young people during summer, and I also visit places, communities to talk to the young people and hold some kind of art classes for them. I've done it. Yeah, we've done in Lagos. We have also done in River State. I went as far as Bonny, to train young people. So I keep doing that. I'm always available for that. Anytime if you want to organize children, and talk to them, and we hold art classes, encourage them. I do that a lot. I'm always ready to try to impart that knowledge to encourage them. And so we hold that annually. We hold that online classes for young people. So hoping that and anytime I'm free, I'm always available for to talk to mentees, and offer myself workshops and training for young artists. So that is one of the things I do, you know, to pass the baton.
All right. Thank you, KJ. Thank you, Mike. I saw this. I was looking for your book online. I didn't see that, but I saw this, The Chronicles of Chile. Are you part of that project? And why is it that your books are not on Amazon?
Yeah, okay. My books. Yeah, that I was actually part of this chronicle, but it was also a project I was invited to. It was not a personal project, and I've been involved in a lot of projects like that also. Either contributing illustrations, or cartoons, and I have lots of them. So, but my book, this was the first one. The laughter in the mirror. So this is the first one, and that one is there. I also the sales of the book itself was actually handled by my office. So initially we had the books at some outlet in Lagos. We some major bookstores in Lagos, but we did not have. I think we did not have them. The present one we don't have them online. The current one that is selling now. But there are links to book if you need them. Just people who are handling them at the office. Unfortunately, we don't have them online.
All right.
All those online shops.
All right. No problem. Let's see. Let's get Igbo basics. You're next.
Yes, Mike Asukwo. Asukwo,
Yes,
welcome,
sir.
welcome to um, Dr. Damage's 90 minutes. Actually, I just wanted to appreciate your presence in this forum. Being a mixed breed from the old brigade, and by that I mean from the way back from the 50s, the debt, and having gone through quite a few things, I took interest in cartoons from way back around 1973, 1974, when we had at Eziama High School, we had a gentleman named Chidi Ogrega Abana. He worked for the Eagle newspaper, owned by the West thing, then in Aba, briefly. He died while we were still in school, and that was very painful. So whenever I see a cartoonist, I always remember the great Chidi Abana Ogrega of Eziama High School. Though he did not live to fulfill the great things that people like you have done, my interest, and I've listened to your presentations here. You talked about being guided by the spirit of the king, which is the right way to go. I would sum up your uh, job as get the biro, edere okafo, in Igbo language, the place where they write biro, no okafo where they write there. So that is the position of a cartoonist. And then you talked about the challenges of the AI. Actually, I have a daughter who is a graphic artist. She detests anything AI. If you ask her to do things that she just says, no, that's not the way to go. She graduated in that, but she's focusing on cartoons, on animation. She's specializing in animation. So we have that in the house. But for
Right.
me, as a publisher, I haven't published Igbo Basics for many, many years. I do a little bit of cartoon here and there. When I see people like you doing great work, it actually tells me there is hope for tomorrow. And why do I say that? We talked about your books, of which if I see where they are, I'll buy one. And then we talked about your works, whether like you consider an autobiography of Mike Asukwo, because we're all passing through. You do your part, you move on. And Mr. James was talking about doing things like things fall apart in a cartoon form. And being that today's generation is a now generation of quick, 24-hour TikTok, everything, everybody's a content creator. So, but for the part that you play, it actually reminds me of when we used to have people like Kilwe and Wachuku come to our school. We have people like Man Pass Man. We have people, those kind of people who used to come to institutions and we gather and see them. So to me, is there a possibility that the current, should I use the word sponsors, or what do we do to put you in those places like schools so that the upcoming ones will know the difference between even the AI that is coming and the work that you are doing now? So, having said all that, I just have one question for you. Do you do independent contract work? Because some of us who are thinkers and we find people like you and we can have a conversation and say, this is what I'm looking to do. We believe in pulling talent, making a presentation, and then leave it for posterity. Because we
Yes,
are just
yes.
about to present, we are just about to present, just like what you're looking at here. This is a man, I mean, I don't know what you think about that particular, that's Abia State. In Abia State, uh, I was thinking about the dog who was passing through a bridge, and then he saw his shadow in the water. He had a big bone in his mouth, but he dove in. So, but instead, this is what I was given. That is current Abia political. I don't know. What do you think about the future results of Abia State? I don't know which state you are from, but I'm looking at Abia State and its current political underpinnings.
All right, sir. The what you asked me, I've followed your contribution, and I really want to say thank you for the encouragement. Thank you also for the suggestion that people like us should be placed in a way that we will you know, I, bring that recognition, just like we have done for people, other great men in history. And I am actually feel honored that you could see me in that kind of position. Of course, we're just doing what we're doing. We just want to see how we can use our God-given talents to see if we could make a change in the society as much as possible. See how we can impact our society with our gift, and that is what I've been doing. And of course, money is a consideration, and so um, I've been working with Business Day for a long time. Um, Business Day actually gave me this platform, and one thing about them is that I don't work in chains. I have total freedom working Business Day, and so I handle personal projects. Even some are even recommended by my own publisher. And some of the conditions I have come directly from him. So yes, I handle personal projects, and also when you've just shown that cartoon, that is that image. That is the one problem we have with AI. No matter how you want to prompt it, might not be able to convey what you really want the picture to see. But definitely, Abia State is one to watch, and I think I did a cartoon about Abia State recently, and it's a state we're all watching because I'm from Akwa Ibom State, and I've always been going to Aba growing up. And we know how Aba used to be in those days, and we also saw what happened to Aba, what happened to Abia State. And we have also seen what is happening to Obi State right now. And only a blind man, even a blind man, will not argue with that. There's a difference, and so it's actually a state of particular interest to every well-meaning Nigerian, because we just want a good society, which is very, very important. No matter how it is, we want a good society, whether it's your own or not. You want to go to where you want to travel to any part of Nigeria and see a state well governed. You want to be anywhere and know that you are safe, you are secure, and that the place that you are, is well is governed. So that's what matters to me most. So if if I have to handle that, we can always discuss, see how many images that we could do, to see what we want to say, in Abia State. So I'm actually available.
So before I let you go, I'm actually a cultural man. I have this kola nut in my hand, and I've kept it for almost 6 months now. The issue with this kola nut is that it split into three. It's actually a guru, but it splits into three, and it's very rare for you to find a guru split into three. So delving into the cultural aspects of these things, I don't know what you think, because I'm using that opportunity to also extend an invitation to you. Very soon, if you look behind, you will see the man, Chief Zabudaya, Okorigwe Ngogwe, alias 430. And for a book of him that we've been doing since 1984, I'm actually extending an invitation to you so that when we do launch that book, besides trying to find a way to bring you onto, Rudolph will know what to do, because the world needs to see your work. That's what I'm trying to say here. So for
Yes.
the man behind me here, who is bigger than me and Rudolph, maybe you. So it's an invitation that I'm actually, open invitation I'm extending to you for when we do present that book in Nigeria very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. I'm sure that must be one of those cartoonable. Did you say cartoonable moments or what? No, what did you call it? Offenses. Offenses. All right. Stay humble. You're next.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Mike Asukwo.
Good evening.
I'm really happy that we are having a variety of conversations, and as expected, there's no traffic today because we are not talking politics and other things. So I expected no traffic. Nigeria, unfortunately, has become a place where we have kind of anti-intellectualism stance. Even among Nigerians living here in the UK, most times when you interact with them, you find that their levels lower or less reasonable than other Africans here. You interact with people from East Africa, Southern Africa, you find them like Daniel, like Daniel in the Bible, with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who were eventually found to be 10 times better than the other young men who were serving Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. So, yeah, I'm really delighted. I didn't listen to your take because I was really busy. I joined, just when the floor was opened for interactions because I was in church and it lasted quite long. Yeah, anyway, I've tried to read a bit about you online. Unfortunately, there's no there's no Wikipedia page really around there, and I know why, because you are not from the stock. The stock, where that should be published on Wikipedia. If you understand what I mean, if you are from that stock, maybe the Lagos Ibadan media would have given you a lot of publicity. Well, maybe you are not from the right ethnic group. Um, so that's why there's no Wikipedia stuff about it. I would really, really love for there to be, very, very robust description of your works and stuff. Because when I was growing up, when I was a kid, we used to consume a lot of newspapers, and that's the reason why I'm here. So we used to read a lot of newspapers, and then there were loads and loads of cartoons then describing what was happening in the society. And I'm really happy now that we have someone like you who's taking the initiative to continue in that trajectory. My
Thank you.
question is just in line with what has been asked previously about, is it my network? So do we really have, because I know in Nigeria we have contests, competitions, let's say science, essay, what have you. Do we really have one for people who are really gifted in cartoon? If we don't, do you intend to initiate such kind of contest and competition among our very young people, primary, secondary school students? That will help. And also, I just wonder, where do you see yourself in the next 20 years? The reason why I ask this question is that you live in Nigeria, where there is no safety net, where there is no insurance, where when you get old, you are left to your devices. And that's why the likes of Bayo, Nanogado, Kume, etc., later abandoned their stand and joined them since they could not beat them. Now that you're fighting the ills of the society, when you get old, you need to cater for your health. You need all sorts of support. Would you join them?
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you.
stay humble. Mike.
Hi. Yes. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Rudolph, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There's just a delay. We can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. I think the question you asked now, first part of your question, when I was talking, when I finished that, in our initial part of the program, we have already discussed that. So, but I just want to go over it again. That I'm actually doing a lot, in preparing younger ones for, you know, who are gifted children. I'd work a lot with them. We used to have online classes. I will online classes annually. Beyond the online classes, we have some physical training for young people, especially during holidays. And I move around a lot, to do that. I got invited to some places, and where I actually talk to young people, and I actually encourage them to unleash on how to unleash that creativity. So, and in the course of that, we've discovered so many very brilliant ones. Because what people don't know is that um, the the apart from just using the ability to draw, there is a lot you can use that. There is a lot you can do with that ability. No matter the course you are into, no matter what you study, no matter whether you are a lawyer, whether you are an engineer, whatever you are, the ability to be able to draw is a very very key skill. And so we try to go around, helping children develop that. As to where do I see myself, I don't really see myself. I don't really see myself at all in the corridor of power. And I'm an artist, and until I stop breathing, I will not stop working. And I know that a lot of people, from the way it is going now, you can't beat them, you join them, makes it better. You see how it is to just become a millionaire overnight. When you see the even right now, when you see what is expected from an ordinary local government chairman, to tell you the budget for campaign campaign budget for ordinary local government chairman in Nigeria is scary. And you ask yourself, if the local government chairman has to spend all this to become the local government chairman, how much is he going to earn, in that 4 years of being in power? And so it means that people just pay. People are just selling the slot. So you sell the slot to you, you make the best of the slot, so that when you leave, you sell to another person. So that is how it is. It has become so transactional. That it is very scary. And so I really can't see myself, in that kind of situation. I mean, I can't picture myself there at all. I keep seeing myself in my studio, and no matter how far I project myself, it is still my studio that I see myself. So I would rather die among my paints and brushes and all that, than see myself where I need to become maybe special SA to government on cartoon matters, something like that. So I think that actually uh, answers your question. We really work a lot with children. For example, we have some kids in Nigeria, maybe in the community, and you feel that okay, we have some very bright ones among them. You will not know until we have events like this where they are brought together, and then like maybe for a workshop or something. So we encourage people to do that, because we have seen so many talents that we have discovered in the course of our moving from community to community, you know, talking to children, seeing them draw and all that. It's very satisfying for me, to see young ones. I know what happened to me growing up. I never had that kind of opportunity. I was mostly self-taught until I went to Yaba College of Tech. That was the first place I had a formal art training. So all along it was taught. I pushed myself. I showed interest on my own. I tried to develop a skill, and as much as possible, I I I I tried to try out any material I find around me. So that is what got me all the way to Yaba College of Tech, where I studied fine arts, formally for the first time. So I see a lot of young people who are also that talented, but they don't have the opportunity, they don't have the encouragement. Most of them, they are telling with school, want to go and study, want to be a lawyer, want to be an engineer, want to be a doctor and all that. But then these are children who are gifted, talented, in art. And when you push them that way, you just have to do what you want to do, and they don't really like what they're doing. So, and if you don't like what they're doing, it's always a problem. So, we just want to encourage parents to recognize that they have children who show this kind of talent, this kind of trait, it's just give them the right kind of push, and this is where we always want to encourage.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Stay humble. Let's go to OC. Dr. OC, you're next.
Ah, okay. Thank you so much. I'm just right in the middle of it because as you can see, I'm at work actually. But I don't want to miss the opportunity to meet the legendary Mike Asukwo. Mike, thank you for all you do. When somebody is able to make you laugh through your pain, then you know that person has a special talent, and that's what Mike has done for us in Nigeria. With his very very unique talent. Each time he posts a cartoon, he says more than 1,000 articles that most of us write every day. So
People like you, right?
yeah, Michael can just summarize what you've been writing for a year with just one cartoon. So we thank you so much. Not too long ago, I made some trips to some countries in South America, especially Colombia. And one thing that I noticed was their use of street arts, like the murals they draw on the wall and all those kind of stuff. They're very, very big into it, and it tells a lot of stories. And as a matter of fact, when I left that place, I was like, why are we not doing this in Nigeria? Because you could tell that most people, because of the social media, short attention span, and all those kind of stuff, when you write articles, no matter how beautiful, no matter how, you know, important that article is, many don't even get to. The people that are supposed to be, reading it and getting motivated and getting, understanding what is going on, they don't even do that. But when you make it in an art form, i.e., murals, whether it's cartoon, all those kind of stuff, you're able to pass the message not just to a wider net of people, but people that really should be getting educated about what is going on. Yeah, so thank you so much. And it would be nice if, those were cartoons. If we can maybe find a way to give it a wider reach, whether it's in form of the murals I talked about, where, like if you go to, say, a bus station, you see a big picture with a cartoon on it. It says it makes, it makes a lot of difference. That's what I believe in. So if there's any way we can do that, I mean, I know we don't normally do it in Nigeria, at least not that I know, not to the extent that I know and I've seen in other climes, but who knows? The revolution we're talking about that we're all shouting and screaming about, maybe that is how it's going to. Because when somebody looks at a picture, there is that, there's that, it, it's evocative, if I have to use, for want of a better word
No,
to use. Yeah, if we can do that, many of us will be very, very willing to support you and actually make sure that we look for sponsors for stuff like that. And I'm sure with all these young people you're meeting, maybe they will also take it from there, even when some of us have come and gone, at some point in our lives. Thank you so much. Mm.
no, yeah. Thank you so much. I think that's a very brilliant idea that you just stated now. Very, very brilliant. I mean, it really worked. I mean, um, we have some of these images blown, really big, and then they are mounted to. Yes, it will say a lot, and they are also catchy. The, the message gets to where they have to get to um, uh, quicker. So I think it's a very brilliant idea. Very, very good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, we're rounding up. I'll give maybe one more chance to anybody who has another question, follow-up question. But Mike, let me ask you: has there been any cartoon you did, and after doing that, you said to yourself, this one might land me in trouble?
Um, yes, yes. Yeah, sometimes you can't just help it. I mean, this thing has to be said. You just say it, and then you just wait for whatever will happen. It's okay. Like we can say, heaven will not like, wait for heaven to fall.
Mhm.
So yeah, but a lot of time, because like right now in Nigeria, a lot of things that happen. You really, if you are a journalist, if you are people who write about these things, you see, you can't help but put yourself in the story. You can't help but imagine yourself in the story. No matter how objective you try to be, there is a way you feel about some of the things you write about. And it's not a very good time for Nigeria right now. So sometimes like I was in an event, and one of the politicians was there, and I said something. I said something that right now in Nigeria is really getting very very hard, to make people laugh, you know, because of the kind of subject matter we are handling every time. It is, if you are able to, in fact, sometimes you feel guilty, bringing humor, into your work, because some people will say, "Oh, it's gallows humor." I mean, why should we make fun of some things like this? Because it seems everything around us is serious, things you just feel like crying about. And so it's becoming harder for a cartoonist, to be able to infuse humor into his work. So someone was asking on a platform, so what matters to the cartoon? What matters to the cartoonist? Is it the message or the humor? And I tell you that it's becoming harder to, um, humor should actually be like, like the sugar, the honey you wrap bitter pill with,
I see.
and but sometimes you just feel like you don't even need this bitter pill. You don't even have to laugh about this thing, you know. And when you post this thing, like you post this thing on social media, and some people will telling you, I don't even know how to react. Do I have to laugh? Should I laugh about this? I laugh about this. I'm feeling guilty laughing about it. It's as serious as that right now in Nigeria. So we know. So there are many subjects that you just can't help it.
All right. We're having an internet problem with him. Okay, Mike. Okay, thank you so much, Mike. Let me give
I,
anybody who has a follow-up question to do so.
I do have a question.
Okay, Ibo Basic.
Mike, my brother, we have snow
Yes.
in our place today. And I've often posited that if it ever snows in Nigeria, that people will die because they've never seen snow and they can't withstand the cold from what we go through here. In line with what Osi was talking about, mirrors and stuff like that, I just have a question about courtrooms. Do we have courtroom impressionists? Do we have courtroom artists? Or do we have crime replicators, people who can work with the police and stuff like that to solve mysteries, and you can actually be able to recreate the image of maybe a perpetrator? Or do we have courtroom artists?
Yeah, yeah.
I just sent one to
I
Vina
don't think.
from
Yeah,
America.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't know about costume artists. But I used to ask myself, in Nigeria, you still have pictures from courtrooms, and so I don't think any artist will be sent out of the courtroom if he goes there to make sketches. But then I think that those courtroom artists we have, like in the US, I think those are actually official, because those the pictures, the drawings they make are actually part of the documentations of police artists, like those people that make identical pictures. I have not seen one, because the police in Nigeria has never published a drawn photograph, and so this man is a wanted man. This picture is based on description of eyewitnesses, as drawn by an artist. I've never seen Nigerian police publish such picture. It's not as if Nigerian artists cannot do identical pictures. Me, I can do it. If you, I've just done a portrait that was was fully based on description of family members, where they want to do their grandfather, they don't have any picture. And so all those people that knew the man came together and described the man for me. And I created a painting of him. So that is how to do the identity picture. So, but I've never seen Nigerian police release a press statement accompanied by a photograph and say this photograph was drawn based on description of eyewitness. So I think that shows that there is actually a vacancy for such for such talent in the Nigerian police.
So without
So thank you.
Rudolph, I'll ask a question. Rudolph, Mike, among the young ones, because they're looking up to you, that you have encountered in your journey, have you been able to kind of create a database of these younger ones so that as they look up to you, they are actually following your line? And if anybody needs their service, you can actually, because little drops of water, a single tree cannot make a forest. So you have all the shrubs around you. Do you have a database of this younger ones?
Yes, I do. In fact, I have them. I even have a special WhatsApp group where all of them are there. In fact, some of them are even abroad. Some are in Nigeria, and then there are also categories. There are some that are still in secondary school, and then there are some who are actually not studying art in university, but they are into the draw. Some of them create comics and all that. So I reach out. Most of them, they reach out to me. They share their works with me, on a regular basis. Seeking my opinion and all that. So I still have them. If you have anything, if you need anything that I feel any of them could handle, I will just reach out to you and then connect you with them. So, but I have them.
All right. Thank you, Bob Basics. Any other, KJ, you have any other question? I'll stay humble before I
Yeah.
round up.
So the question I asked earlier, I think he answered it in the light of holding political posts or aspiring to political positions. But that wasn't really it, because yeah, we know that these guys, they still operate the analog Oshodi Oshodi system of just recruiting people to be special advisors, etc., etc. But in more advanced climes where the establishment are more sophisticated, you could be even you could be roasting corn in the market, and you still be roasting it and still be I will still join them, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like joining them is not just about aspiring for political posts or being special advisor, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what I'm saying is very important. I have followed politics in Nigeria for more than 2 decades, religiously. And I know many people are fallen. But that's why people will say they, don't trust anybody. So, because clearly, when you get to that age, where you need support,
Yeah.
When people get to their 70s, things, if we are going to be honest here, things come up. That's when men start having prostate issues,
Yeah.
and that needs a lot of money. That's when, problems that need solving crop up. And that's when people begin to compromise
Yeah.
because
Sure.
they need help. So that's what I mean. You use your talent to decry social ills. Now, you look at things happening in the society which are not palatable, and you try to, use diagrams and illustrations to bring them, to summarize them and bring to the attention of people. Now, so by joining them, it's doing the opposite of what you are doing with your cartoons. The same oppressors, the same suppressors, the same demons um, of Nigeria, using those cartoons to now portray them as, the messiahs and good people. That's what I mean. Would you join them?
Yeah. 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 I understand. I understand what you're saying. You're looking at a point where you will start doing what they're doing now. I mean, speaking from the other part of your mouth, or should I say, drawing from the other part of your pencil. The very thing that you decried all along. You start finding merit in them, or trying to justify them and all that. Yes, it is actually pathetic. That we could be looking at. At this moment, you should be worried about things from that in that direction. And but I just feel that there's something about principles, you know, where, because even right now, it's not as if I'm not being tempted. It's not as if business is paying me in millions and I don't have need for money. Yes, I do. And I can tell you that there have been attempts to draw me out. I don't want to I don't want to I don't want to sound uh, boastful, uh, but, or maybe at the risk of sounding immodest, I would say that um, I have turned down offers like that. Offers that have strings attached to them. Offers that are not, that I look at and tell myself that it's like this good that I'm getting. He still has the rope tied to his neck. Yes, I've had things like that. In fact, I have it from level that uh, people might people might find it hard to believe. You know, because when you look at what we have stood for all these years, you now ask yourself, what will people believe you? What about your credibility? You know, what about image? What will people talk about you if you now uh, turn against everything that you have preached? I'm not a politician, so I might not be able to really explain myself. I might not be able to break that promise so easily. I might not be able to tell you, okay, this is why the promise I made I could not fulfill today. So I'm not a politician like that. I'm an artist, and I may not have that kind of platform, and it might not be so easy for me to tell my followers, or even my conscience, okay, so okay, this is I know this is bad, but this four legs good, but let me say two legs better. I don't know when I'm going to start doing that at my age. So in fact, people are going up on me. People will just say, some people even think that they will even tell some people, you want Asukwo, do you know how much business they paying him? Because they can't believe the company this long. Uh, there should be something they are using to hold me. There's nothing, just that I find a business day, a company, that is true to its words, and it doesn't band it to to the pool of political actors. No matter what happens, we try to stay as much as neutral as much as possible and objective. So that has actually been a saving grace, because you cannot come out to say, oh, Asukwo using his platform to harass or have been paid to malink, so those things don't happen because of where I'm working, who kind of people that I'm working for. So
Thank you.
that is.
Sorry. Finish up your thoughts. You said that is. I wanted to
Okay,
ask
so
you.
so that has been my guiding principle.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, who owns the business there? Who is the owner?
Frank Aibogun.
Okay. Okay. I don't know him. Is the newspaper profitable?
Yeah, the paper is doing well. I think is only daily business newspaper in Nigeria, and been going for 20 years now, and so he's doing well on his own.
Do you know how many copies are printed every day? Because I heard that all the papers in Nigeria, they don't print up to 100,000 copies.
Yeah, yes, a lot happened. I think internet happened to a lot of newspapers, and it's not been easy actually staying afloat. So I mean, they are dealing with only print. People don't just read print again. Everybody is holding one kind of device or the other where they can access news, at the tip of their fingers. So print generally has print actually has suffered, has actually diminished for over a period. So we are just struggling for that advert space and all that. Then everybody has gone online. So it's even it's even a surprise that most of them are even able to stay afloat. But some of them are still doing very well.
All right. Thank you
So,
so much. Yeah.
Rudolph, if you let me for a second, Mike, I'm sure you know the story of Aminu Kano in the Nigerian contest, and I'm sure you know the story of Tyson Lorraine. The question is a good name really better than gold?
Can I add before you say something, sir? Can I add before you say something? Um, I'm one of those whose father died and left with a good name. I think it's better than gold, though, because even now, when I get to my community, people always refer to me as that son of a man whose father was the one who concludes all matters. Once he speaks, that's the end, because everybody knows that he's telling the truth. So I think, yeah, Mike, good name better than gold. And but here's what I will tell you, sir. I've gone. In fact, most of your work that I see, I come across, I always enjoy. So I will also advise that if you can, begin to put them in book forms. Begin to, just like you already started. It doesn't matter whether you get the reward now or later. But someday, somebody whose heart is good will see one copy, and that will be the end. I have a friend who used to make moi moi when I used to be in Nigeria, in one part of Kubwa. We used to go buy her moi moi, but we never know that one day she'll be making moi moi for Obama. And then before you know it, one day somebody took her moi moi to somebody in Abuja. Somebody got to the American embassy's hand, and the American embassy say, "Oh, who made this moi moi?" They say, "Is this young lady in this place?" "Oh, we want this moi moi." And the next time they took her moi moi for events in American embassy, and before you know it, Obama said, "Oh, I want this moi moi." They were looking there. They brought the woman to come and make moi moi in America, and that changed her whole, all her story and her life. So one day, my brother, the good work you are doing, the education and the truth you are passing through your paintings or your drawings, somebody with a good heart will find it, and that which you are looking for, that truth will be told at a higher and a wider range. God bless you, sir.
Amen. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody. Mike, if you have any final words, you can say it now. Otherwise, I'll round up and yeah.
Okay, I just want to thank you very much for an opportunity to engage with people like this. I want to. It's good that we never met, but it's good that one's work is being people are following one. It's actually very encouraging. You know that all the things we do, that we are actually getting some kind of recognition, even though it might be in the rooms and here and there. So I want to thank you so much for the platform like this, and I want to also say that, like we said, I'm available. If you have any personal project, and then you also have my books. Anybody want to get any book can reach out to you, and just let me know. I have two of them. They are still available, and so I want to thank you all.
All right, thank you so much, Mike, and we just say thank you to you. Take a break and do our own feedback, and then we will end the show. Thank you so much.
Rudolph,
So me ala teme, so me piki go teme, or am ala teme, Ala wolo ma ho, he going there riba ho. Ala wolo ma, he going there riba, he going there riba. So me I like me, yeah. I am adure lele. Idu kwa samaka onyoma odika powder. Idu kwa samuku onyoma odika fomu. Idu kwa samishi onyoma odika pilo. Oh lo 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 lo, aduru bule waka wa iwariwo. Ice. Rosa Olerio, Rosanna Olerio, Rosanna Olerio adikadimba. Adure Oleri, Adure Olerio, Adure, Aturubwe bule waka wa iwariwo. Adure, Adure lele. Idu kwa samaka onyoma odika powder. Idukwasa mukwu onye ọma ọ dịka fomu. Idukwasa m isi onye ọma ọ dịka pilo. Ololololo atụrụ bụ epule gbaka ngwa iweriwo.
All right, welcome back. Where am I? It's welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging in with us. It's been a wonderful afternoon. I know our people are usually expecting politicians and politics, but you know, this is a conversation that is open to topics beyond politics, and I think Mike and people like that are playing a role that we all grew up. I don't know about you, looking at those cartoons in newspapers. So it was wonderful to have him here. We will continue to bring diverse guests on this show. Next Sunday, we are bringing Professor Chidi Odenkalo. He's coming to help us understand the world as it is today and what's going on in Nigeria. So if you want to join us, please make plans to join us 6:30 on Sunday, Nigerian time, and 12:30 here in America. He has a new book that just came out. So if anybody is a follower of Professor Denkalo, you can read the book and come back and we can, you know, have a conversation around that. He was talking about, the book was about the judiciary in Nigeria, why they don't work and why we're the way we are. So it would be good. I want to encourage people to, you know, when we have guests who have books and stuff like that, we can read it and have intelligent conversations. Not that we don't, but it would be wonderful to have writers being questioned or to explain.
What's the title of the book, sir?
I'll find it. I'll show you. Something about judiciary, I'll show you. But you can always type his name. It's on Amazon and everywhere. All right. So before we go, let's quickly, your take. I know, KJ, you're having a show after this. Are you? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, Mr. Mike Asukwo is a legend. He's you know, a cartoonist like no other, especially now that the world has, you know, taken a dive into AI. So for you to continue to remain at, you know, at that class where he is, you must know your onions very well. And I appreciate his cartoons, because just like Stay Humble have said, when we were in, you know, in primary school and secondary school, we used to, you know, going to read newspapers was one of our preoccupations, because the questions that you'll be asked in current affairs, in debate clubs, in press clubs, it's going to be based on those things you see. And the questions you're going to be asked in government class, in history, it's going to be what is trending, what is the newspaper saying, what are the, you know, people like the Zik of Africa, he went to a campaign in Jos. What was his campaign about? Can you summarize it? Okay, this was what we were asked. And you go to a debate, you don't have these facts, they floor your school. You come back, you can't even walk around, because they say, look at the guy who went to represent us, and they just mess him up. Simple question, you couldn't even answer it, you know. So, but now, you know, education has shifted. It is now microwave. Once it's beyond 15 minutes, nobody wants to listen. And nobody wants to read or even look at a cartoon and interpret it for what it is or learn from it, you know. So for him, I really appreciate his work and what he's doing. I just pray that someday the Nigerian society will again recognize the need to go back to education, to go back to intellectual, discourse, you know, to go back to trying to bring the young ones up from what they are used to now, which is hanging around, you know, social media and, you know, dancing all kinds of stupid dance and hoping to raise followers or friends, whatever they call them, you know, that will eventually give you money. And, you know, the other day I was speaking to my son. I said, look at Dr. Rudolph's show has been on 81,000 people now. Even though we have millions of people coming here, almost thousands of people coming every month, It doesn't increase. So you see, so in other words, this is somebody's business, and it is how he gives you that you take. You can't go and complain, say, nah, how can you say we are still at this number? And new people are coming, and people are, still clicking likes, and people are subscribing. Where are those subscription? My good diary came back from almost 500,000 to 111,000. Till today, it still remains 111,000, despite whatever he's doing. So, what am I trying to say? I'm simply saying people like him occupy a very vantage position in our society. Unfortunately, we're not dealing with a people who understand or who want to even expand knowledge, because people like that will be given a special place. They can contribute a lot, because there's nothing wrong with all of us or people expanding knowledge in different ways, and that guy is a talent and needs to be encouraged in whichever way that we can. I will look forward to buying, most of his books. Like I said, I used to collect cartoons. I had an album of cartoons I cut from New Nigeria, Standard newspaper, The Voice, Daily Times, what's the other one? There's another one I'm forgetting. Punch, Vanguard. Those were people who those days had, columns for cartoonists, and they were all very, very entertaining. So I made an album of it. I'm sure that if I go back to my village house and I check through my things, I can still see that album sitting there. It was good to look at. So sometimes when you're not in a good mood, you just pick up the album of cartoons and look through it, and just like Osi said, you laugh. You just laugh away your sorrow, and tomorrow is a better day, and that's it. Playing a very important role in our society, and I want to appreciate him for it.
Thank you. There was this, I forgot to ask this question. There was this guy, cartoonist, I think he was at Punch, called Leke Moses.
Yes.
I don't forget that, because there was a day that the chairman of Guinness Nigeria collapsed at an event. And this cartoonist drew the picture of the Guinness guy and said, Guinness is good for you. I don't forget that. and the signature was Leke M. So I interpreted, I was very young then, I interpreted to me, Leke M, Guinness is good for you. So they leave an impression in you even at a very young age. And
yes,
so, yeah.
Yes, they did.
All right, stay humble. Final words.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I think I agree with other KJ. Sorry. Regarding the issue not having the followership it deserves, really, because of the kind of society, the kind of people that we reach, or we trying to reach. Because I think that this show is, if it's in the Bible days, is in the category of the Sahendrins. So the reason why people want to be in this show, many people who want to be in this show do not want to join to make their contributions, is that they feel that the intellectual level is high. That they do not have the intellectual currency to make contributions. And, because of that, they just stay in the background. Why? Is because I followed this show for about 2 years before I started becoming a regular participant on the panel. And during those days, I saw the show as a show where you get that intellectual conversation that you don't get anywhere else. And that's why sometimes I frown when people want to dilute the level of conversation we have here, when people want to bring in some false doctrine and try to downplay the importance of the issues that we discuss on this show. So what I would say is that irrespective of the following, I think we should maintain what we are doing and even aim to improve in that, and also even try to bring in more guests across divides, across several aspects of life. We've not had a sports person here, unfortunately. We've not had a
Obie.
so
Obie was
because
one.
recently, because if you are looking at what is going on in the society recently, the AFCON took place and it's concluded that and so many things that fell out from it. We've not invited any of those
So
guys,
let me say this.
stakeholders.
It's important. Stay humble. It's important that you're saying this. So we are open to anybody suggesting any guests and helping with getting them, because it's not easy. We have outstanding invitations to more than 15 people, and every week we reach out to people. Are you ready to come this time? Will you come? And sometimes it takes 6 weeks, 6 months to get even the right contact of somebody. I even go to people's DM to send them messages. Can you be a guest on our platform? If you know how I got Mike to come, I actually, exactly what I said during the program, you were not here. I saw a cartoon of his and I sent it to him. And I said, hey, Mike, I did a AI variation of it. I posted it. And he wrote back and said, are you telling me how to do my job? I said, look, I've been looking for you. Come on the show. And that was how he came here. Somebody sent me, a friend of ours on the show here. He's watching at home. He sent me a message. I said I should bring Edmond Obilo today. And I said, I've been talking to Edmond. I knew him before, more than 10 years ago. And I've been talking to him to come on the show. He kept saying, I will come. So Edmond, if you're watching, we're still waiting for you. So I have those people. You may think you want this person. I've been reaching out to that person to come. And we hope one day they will. So it's not that we are not reaching out, but sometimes we need help too with people who have direct contact with them. So we have open invitation for anybody. Once they are ready, bring them here.
Yeah, even some of these people who are members of the establishment, the Nigerian
Oh,
corrupt
I
establishment.
had a government official. I don't want to mention the name because I'm still being promised that they will come. Not government spokesperson for the presidency. I'm still hoping he will come and on this show. So, but it's up to him. The day he says he's ready, I'll bring him here. So the invitations are always out there. Yeah, that's it.
And even if you can invite Bednock, the Bednocks of this world,
I don't discriminate.
the Riley Moores of this world.
Wike, before he became a minister, I was very close to getting Wike to come. Somebody who knew him and they're close. But I think sometimes what happens, I will tell you the truth. They will say, who is the host? And instead of telling them it's Rudolph, they will tell them it's Dr. Damages. And that ends it. but I'm reaching out to a lot of people. There's nobody that I don't think, if you can mention a name that we haven't, unless we don't have the contacts. So,
say Dr. Damages.
Yeah, and then that ends it. So, but we'll keep doing that. So thank you guys. We have to end it.
Dr. Damages.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have too much to say other than for you to continue doing the great job you're doing, because from our conversation today with Mike, it has exposed quite a few things that even the Nigerian society need. Because in this day and time, I'm glad that KJ took up that answer for him as far as the Aminu Kanu, Taisul angle, and then the current people in politics in Nigeria. One thing we observe is this: if it is Kpanlogo today, a lot of people will come. If it is Ngwa Road, a lot of people will show up. If they are dancing at Jasco, people will come to see. And even if they are doing a bad condition, my good friend Uche Obuagu, used to do bad condition. Now he joined the politics. People will tend to show up.
Can you get Uche Ogbuagu for us? Can you get Uche Ogbuagu for us on this program?
I believe I can do that.
It will be good to. Rudolph, you know about Uche Ogbuagu, even though he's an Igbo comedian, but he's one of those foremost Igbo comedians and been there forever.
Okay.
Yeah, bad condition. He has been into this studio.
Bad condition 1, 2, 3, 4. I know about condition.
We have all his we have all his everything in here. This is almost a custodian of his works.
Yeah,
great job he has done. But we'll try and see what we can do to get him across here.
All right. So people are saying Rufai Oseni. Rufai has been here.
Yeah.
I will try to talk to him. I'm close to Rufai. That's not a problem. I will try to see if he will come back.
So I was trying to land with the fact that sometime somebody will show up because Rudolph Okonkwo asked him to show up, regardless of the consequences. Because what I said to the Nigerian society is that the damages that we are doing to the intellect of the young ones, when I mean not the word damages in terms of damages, we are not damaging anything, but the setback we are leaving for the younger ones. When I come now and see everybody begin to fry their hair, I'm sorry to use that word, hair frying. In our time, in Aba, if they see you fry your head, they will catch you and tie you rope and think you're a madman. But at some point, it became fashionable that people now fry their hair and stuff like that. At some point, the original isn't broker. When you see a woman in their original form, you will appreciate who they are with little or no makeup. But today, the damage or the things that I'm trying to find the right word to use, what we are leaving behind for the young ones, you can now see everybody try to wear jeans. Since when did we start to wear jeans as Nigerians? You can now see everybody begin to abandon even their dire, their bada, all those things. Everybody is not, even our politicians, they now begin to wear sneakers. Come on now. What happened to our originals? So what I'm trying to say is that let's balance the act. While the Europeans or Americans are trying to sell their culture to us, let us do the best we can, just like KJ said, the moi moi landed in the White House. Let us also try to preach our moi moi to the West, including those of us who are here. I know that they say, while in Rome, do as the Romans do. But we will do our part to see to it that we will attract some of those who can listen. If they want to, they can listen. If they don't want to, no wahala. So what is the cost of the book that Mike, what is the price of his books? I know that I can get Rudolph's book straight to my table here with our stories, but we would like to know the price of the book that Mike sells. And I know that it's a difficult thing to get it from Nigeria to here. So the only thing I can ask is that maybe through you, maybe whichever way, maybe when we talk to him, Rudolph, if you send me his information, I can order some books directly from him and ask him to, the way we do. Can you send 2 copies to Umobasi Community Library in Ibere? Can you send 2 to Ezema High School in Aba for their library? That's the way we can try to reach out to help distribute their book before they come onto the international crayfish sellers market, which is the Amazon.
All right, thank you. I can anybody that wants his contact, I can pass it across to you guys. Let me thank those that supported us. Thank you so much, Brickhouse Capital, for your support. Thank you so much, Igbo Basics. Thank you so much, Oscar Blackbone, for your support. And those that watched us at home, thank you so much, Real K. I appreciate that. And then I have, thank you so much, Abby, for your support. Now, for those that watch us at home, thank you. Those that left comments on the comment section, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And next week, we are going to bring you a new guest, which is Professor Chidi Odenkalo. Stay humble. Thank you so much for being here. Igbo Basics, thank you. KJ, thank you. We're going to leave it at this point, and next week we will start again with Have Your Say 247. and 90 minutes on Sunday. But KJ, we have a show coming up next, which will deal with the issues we talked about, which is an after show. He can expand it to talk on other issues in the news. It's up to him how he takes it. So on behalf of all the people who work behind the scene, because I have people who are working behind the scene, I thank everybody who joined us. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.
Tó fẹ́ kú torí ẹ̀. Ọwọ́ ẹni ló ti ṣàánú kọ́. Ayé la bá, ayé la fi sílẹ̀ sí. Lọ́nà èyí yóò.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Victim at all. Money for money, vote for vote. 20,000 per vote. They will have the money to buy everybody. Because all the governors have war chest. They just devote 3 months allocation to settling people. And people are hungry, they will collect. And if you don't even collect, there'll be a glitch in INEC. There'll be a glitch. That's all the truth. I'm just being honest. No need to sugarcoat it at all. No need to sugarcoat it. We are not going to have election in 2027. If you ever have it, nobody can defeat Tinubu the way we are today. I don't know tomorrow. As of today, nobody can defeat President Tinubu. And because he's in control of almost 31 governors, and they all have allocations to dispense to the people, to INEC, to DSS, to police. Is that not true? We are all. If President Tinubu were to just exercise the utmost wisdom of a statesman, 4 years is enough for him to be president. He has done enough. He has achieved his economic reform. So, political reform is now the front burner of the agenda. We can't continue the way we are now with 100 million naira form to run for office. So, there is a program that will terminate in October 1, a civilian program, a civil society effort. We just pray and wish that President Tinubu can look in our direction. We cannot force him. We cannot.
This is a primary school and even the junior secondary school in one of the states in northeast Nigeria. Okay, it may interest you to know that this is the GS1 class. Am I right? Yes. This is GS1 class, and then this is what? Primary what? This is primary 4 and 5. Please come close. Let us see the building. Let us see the board. This is primary 4 and 5. And then we will go to the other classes. Please let us see the building. This is what they have as building. And then we have primary 3 and 4 here. This is primary 3 and 4. We have the primary 1 here, or the KG. And then there we have primary what here? Primary 1 is here. And KG. Okay? And then it may interest you to know that this is a school that is under the state government. Like I said, it's one of the states in northeast Nigeria. I wouldn't want to mention the states, so that the state will not see us as putting them in bad light. We are calling on well-meaning Nigerians to support these children. It will also interest you to know that the children in this community are up to 200, up to 250. So there are 250 children.